Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, you're watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's time for WWE Evolve Event Center, where wrestling action involves the WWE ID prospects, the PC prospects, and indie wrestlers from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and here's the man to bring you the wrestling report and action from the WWE Evolve Event Center, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2520 and 26. Wow, a lot of episodes in between. Really, really cool. September the 10th, 2025, 10:38 p.m. I just finished watching Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, as you know, right around the corner is All Out. And it seems like they moved up All Out to a special start time, 3 p.m. I think they said, oh, if they're doing it to compete with the WWE, for me, that's not the case. My opinion is that they moved it up so we can enjoy professional wrestling. I'm the type of person who likes that. All right? I like watching AEW and WWE. What is the W in each of those? Wrestling, okay? I know WWE is more of the entertainment type of wrestling than AEW is, but there's also a little bit of entertainment in both, but it's all elite, great wrestling. But at the same time, I enjoy watching those two organizations and TNA. That's why I always try to give the report event center for AEW, sometimes Ring of Honor, TNA, and WWE, and all three brands from Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I thoroughly enjoy professional wrestling. I've been enjoying wrestling since 1991 on a full-time basis, even though back in the 80s I did watch the Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon. I knew who Hulk Hogan was, and back in the day, but I wasn't a full-time wrestling fan until 1991. So there's that. So, like I said, wrestling has evolved over the years, but all the companies have evolved, even though WWE has evolved the most. But then, when WCW and ECW went, rises TNA and AEW. And you know what? Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy watching all these organizations, and will continue to watch, continue to do so. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about WWE Evolve. To me, the future of the WWE. The Vanity Project, Swipe Right, that's Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, Bryce Donovan, Zeta Steel, and Bryce, I think I mentioned Bryce Donovan, no, and Zeta Steel, I did mention Bryce Donovan, Zeta Steel, and the Evolve champion Jackson Drake. They were addressing the triple threat match that is involving with him defending the title against Keanu, Carver, and Brooks Jensen. I think Brooks Jensen's attitude, along with Josh Briggs' new attitude, and Fallon Henley's new attitude, I think Country Grit, that's why I call them, should come back together as a tag team with Fallon Henley. If the Fallon influence is going to be kaput after Homecoming, I think Fallon Henley should get Briggs and Jensen back together and to be like an APA type of group. I don't know. And with the WWE ramping up the storylines and all that, you got Homecoming. You got Homecoming this coming Tuesday. You got also you got SmackDown coming up, and the return of AJ Lee. All the stuff's happening, and WWE's been ramping things up though. And you know what? WrestlePalooza, the first inaugural event from ESPN. If you're from the U.S. internationally, it's to be on Netflix. I kind of wish Netflix in here in the U.S. would air those pay-per-views. I would have no problem watching that. Trust me. Whoa. Excuse me. Wow. Okay, then. That's an Evolve, if everyone wants one. So, the Vanity Project did address the Triple Threat title match. Now, Carlee Bright, recovering from the attack by Wendy Chu, took on Layla Diggs one-on-one, and Kendall Gray was in her corner supporting Carlee. Right, and Carlee Bright's starting to understand what Kendall Gray's trying to be, and so Kendall Gray's kind of is being more supportive. And heck of a matchup between these two ladies. Layla and Carlee Bright ended up winning the matchup, using the Playmaker as her finishing maneuver. But her finishing maneuver has got like a cutter, springboard cutter known as the Bright Light. But she didn't use that. She used the Playmaker. And Kendall Gray addresses Wendy Chu, and this is after she's get done dealing with Wendy Chu, she is going to go after the women's Evolve Championship. Callie Armstrong comes out because I like what I see here, but you want to get to me. Deal with Wendy Chu first, then come out. Then we can go. And then they start jaw-jacking until Tate Wilder and Ridge Holland were brawling while referees and security officials trying to separate these two. Stevie Turner, the Prime Minister, goes, you know what? Let's make the match right now. So, second match on the card, Tate Wilder and Ridge Holland, they went at it. They went at it one-on-one, and Ridge Holland ended up winning the matchup. I think Ridge Holland's not been a popular guy since what happened to Big E, and I know behind the scenes he didn't mean it, but but the crowd still does not like Ridge Holland. Meanwhile, Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers talked about being a team and how they're different and everything else, and they said, oh, we're cool, they're cool and all that. And Aaron Rourke, I see, Aaron Rourke, let's face it, he's the most his flamboyance reminds me of Rico back when Rico was was managing Billy and Chuck. But I see Eric Rourke have more potential than Rico. Rico in real life is a former American Gladiators champion, so. And we had those lamb chop sideburns that I talked about on the after regular Shenanigans live chat yesterday, live stream yesterday. But Aaron Rourke is a man of is going to be one of the brightest WEID prospects. Watch him in the future, including Marcus Mathers. And those two have joined forces, and it's Gal and Jamara Hampton starts dissing both of them, calling them dorks, losers, and all that. I wouldn't be surprised if this leads into a tag team matchup between those four guys. Meanwhile, Keanu Carver cut a promo before the title match and said, "Get the camera out of my face." Keanu Carver's got a bit of an attitude and a bit of a big chip on his shoulder. So the Evolve title match happened. Jackson Drake, Keanu Carver, and Brooks Jensen. Now, due to the triple threat rules, there's no disqualification. So the Vanity Project was out here getting involved. Bryce Donovan made sure that the 3 count don't go down. And Jackson Drake took advantage of the whole situation, pinning Brooks Jensen for the 1, 2, 3. And Jackson Drake is still your Evolve champion, leaving Keanu Carver and Brooks Jensen not in a very happy mood. And then Stevie Turner was watching the matchup, and she has she's about to figure out who the next challenger for Jackson Drake could be. And then all of a sudden, she notices a photo with stuff written on it, including a post-it that said, "I quit math." Who is it from? Is it from Wendy? I quit math? I mean, that's an interesting. Oh, wait a minute, it wasn't I quit math. I quit match. I didn't read the handwriting properly. It's supposed to be, I quit math. I quit math. Wait. It wasn't I quit math. It was I quit match. It seems like Kendall Gray has challenged Wendy Chu to a matchup, but then Wendy Chu responded on a post-it, "I quit match." Ever since Wendy Chu got this dark, sleepy girl gimmick, she has not said one word. Notice that? When she did the good, happy, sleepy girl gimmick and all that, she talks a lot. But then, ever since she's gone to psycho, dark, sleepy girl gimmick, she has not said one word. I quit math. And I was like, I quit math. Wait a second. I quit math. It was I quit match. That's what it was. Like, why you want to quit math? Like you quit adding and subtracting. At first I said, it said I quit math. I think that's what Stevie Turner thought too, and Stevie Turner. I think I quit match. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Wendy Chu wants to fight Kendall Gray in an I quit match. I think that would be the case. If that's the case, Stevie Turner might make the match. I don't know. So that is it for episode 2526 of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977 to talk about the Evolve Event Center. Next episode, I'll be talking about what happened on AEW Dynamite tonight. So, as well. So I'll see you guys later. Guys, have a wonderful, blessed night. Have a good sleep. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.